should be married by 30. You should have this many kids by this age.
I'd say even like media and things we consume portray that.
Yes.
I was just thinking about like rom-coms and things.
Yeah.
It's very, you know.
Step, complete.
Mm-hmm.
Like a checklist.
Yeah.
Buy a house, have kids, all within a certain window.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Living Big. Hey, I'm Marley.
And I'm Kylie. We're thrilled you're here. This season, we're exploring how to discover, cultivate, and balance passions with everyday life.
Through inspiring stories and actionable tips, we'll dive into turning dreams into reality, embracing creativity, and finding joy in what truly lights you up.
We're talking with creatives, entrepreneurs, hobbyists, and people who've turned passions into careers.
So stick around as we dive in. Welcome back to Living Big. Wow. Today, we are talking all about late bloomers, not the ones who wear. I don't know why I said that.
Welcome back to Living Big.
Grab your petticoat because we're talking about bloomers today.
Honestly, people are still obsessed with Bridgerton, so it feels like...
Yes. And we've been obsessed with
this
Outlander.
season. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, it's been... I'm sucked in. It's bad, guys.
It's mystical.
It really is.
You can't not be.
I'm just sucked into like the predictability of it. I love that I can just guess what's happening. It's so comforting. Like Outlander is my comfort show.
Which is hilarious because you would not think that like with the premise. You know? It doesn't feel...
There's a lot of war and murder and stuff. See, but Jamie is a book boyfriend.
He is.
He's very much a boy.
He's so sweet.
Book boyfriend.
He is. He's a cutie.
Yeah, he's very predictable, and I like that.
Yeah.
So, anywho, now that we have gotten that out of the way, so we put out a call for submissions for today's topic, our late bloomers, right? Mm-hmm. And while no one sadly submitted, it's a topic that it seems like a lot of you still have something to say and, you know, we're excited about. So we thought we would still put together an episode for you guys.
Yeah. And the reason being, we had a lot of responses wanting this topic.
Yeah.
Just no one who wanted to participate in adding their stories.
Yes, we're looking at you.
Calling you out right there. I know.
Next time.
It's sometimes hard to submit things, so I totally understand. But I still felt like this is a great topic for passions, and it's kind of a different side of it.
Absolutely.
Than what we've talked about. Just like, yeah, go for it. And it's so much fun and everything. So.
Agreed. Okay. Now, quick question, Kylie. Have you ever felt like a late bloomer?
Absolutely. In so many things, I think.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yup. I feel like I talk about it a lot, actually, how I feel like I'm a late bloomer. Yeah. We're going to get into it.
I feel like we're not just talking about passions.
Yeah.
Necessarily with late bloomer feelings.
Although I can relate to that specifically.
Yeah.
But
I think it's like, it could be new hobbies. It could be career shifts. It could be education. It could be motherhood. It could be buying a home.
Yeah.
Like you name it. I think there's a lot of aspects. And I think in our culture specifically, we do so many things so young that if you don't, quote unquote, like do those same things super young, you feel like an odd man out.
Yeah. Maybe this is something like carrying over from like the 1950s when we felt like we had to fit this very specific timeline and whatnot. Yes. And we're still kind of undoing some of that because that was like our grandparents, right? Mm-hmm. You know? It's just, there's no cookie cutter anymore. There's no box. No. There's no perfect timeline.
And we're getting better and better with that. But I still think like sometimes for people deep down, they feel like, well, if I didn't figure this out early, then like I'm too late.
Right.
And so maybe I just won't do it at all, which we definitely want to just like caution against and help you understand that this is actually like a pretty normal situation for a ton of people to be in. We think we're late when in reality, it's just not the right time yet. And for so many influential and famous people, if you look at their life, a lot of the really crazy, cool, successful, quote unquote, stuff that they did was later in their life, which brings me like a lot of comfort when I'm feeling behind. because I do feel like there is a lot of pressure to figure it out early. And I do think that society has pushed the idea that success should happen young, right? Like you should graduate college by 22.
Yep.
You should have a career by 25.
Yeah.
And like be making serious money. You should be married by a certain age, etc. Right? Like, and sometimes that's very unspoken, and other times I think we actually like say that out loud. But like, you should be married by 30. You should have this many kids by this age.
I'd say even like media and things we consume portray that.
Yes.
I was just thinking about like rom-coms and things.
Yeah.
It's very, you know.
Step, complete.
Mm-hmm.
Like a checklist.
Yeah.
Buy a house, have kids, all within a certain window.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that when people don't necessarily follow the path
Mm-hmm.
that they think they're supposed to follow, you can feel behind, or like you're just like not making it. But
Mm-hmm.
when really you're moving at your own pace, and that is for some reason really hard to hear, though. So many people I've talked to have said the same thing. They're like, I just wish that I was here. I wish that this was happening. I wish that I had completed this. I wish I had my person, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it's your own story and it's your journey. Like, just embrace it and let it be unique. It's okay. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, when you're in that situation, it's just like, it's hard to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, no, I'm late.
I'd also say like maybe that discomfort is a good sign that that's like a goal that you want to reach,
Mm-hmm.
and not letting that get you too down.
Yeah.
Because then you're probably going to be stuck.
Yeah.
If you're like too focused on like, oh, I'm not ever going to get there, versus like, that's something I really want and I'm going to go make it happen.
I'm going to work for it.
Yeah.
I feel like the discouragement can become a vicious cycle.
Absolutely.
I feel like if you get super discouraged in feeling like you're always a late bloomer, then maybe that actually inhibits you from making big changes later in your life too. So
agreed.
Social media, like we talked about, I think also like just the comparison game of seeing highlight reels, seeing people achieve huge things. Like you're like, oh my gosh, well, this person was 23 years old when they started $1 million business.
Right.
And I'm 29 and I haven't even made a cent yet on any of my businesses or whatever it
We
may
made
be.
like $1, man.
25 cents.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
25 cents.
But you see stuff like that. You see a 19-year-old going viral for their art.
Yeah.
You see a 25-year-old retiring early after crushing it in real estate. And you're like, 20, what?
Yeah.
And people are like, I can be with my kids now because I have it all figured out and I made all the money.
I saved really hard, 73% of my income
for 2 years.
And then I was able to invest it really well.
I just feel like it makes it feel like everyone has figured it out early, but that's not actually reality. Because even if one aspect of their life is going, quote unquote, the way that they wanted it to, or maybe even earlier than they were thinking, most successful people have a winding journey. And it's like something they have to figure out. And I feel like social media really rarely shows like the years of trial and error. And there are one night wonders.
Yeah.
Right. But that is not the normal.
Yeah.
That is very much a rare exception. And most people are going down this winding path. Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people pivot careers. A lot of people go back to school. A lot of people pivot their passions and even like their life path way later or at any age. So you're not late. It's okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about some people who are inspiring to us.
Yeah.
In this episode.
Yeah. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. First one on the list of submissions. We're just going down the list, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have J.K. Rowling. Rolling?
I'd say rolling, but
I think it's rolling.
yeah, I'll say rolling.
J.K. Dear Joe. She published Harry Potter at 32. The first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The first Harry Potter came out when she was 32 years old. As a single mom on welfare, when she wrote Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, it was rejected by 12 publishers before becoming a global phenomenon. I was thinking about this actually just yesterday, how Harry Potter is a huge undertaking as a writer. I aspire to write a book one day. One little book
like 100 pages.
You look at the Deathly Hallows, and that thing's like 600 to 800 pages. It's a thick boy, you know.
And she came up with an entire world that literally has shaped who we are.
Society.
Yeah.
We all kind of awkwardly have like an English accent whenever we want, you know.
And we're all like one or the other. You're either a Gryffindor or Hufflepuff.
Right.
Or Ravenclaw.
Ain't nobody want to be a Slytherin.
Like there's theme parks after it. There's movies.
Yeah.
Like it is so ingrained in our culture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she literally got rejected
By
12 times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They had no idea what they passed up on.
I know, now they're like, oh, shoulda, coulda,
I know.
woulda.
There's this girl reading the books for the first time. She's almost done on TikTok, and it's so emotional.
Oh.
Like, just to see, it's so fun to relive it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But just like the amount of passion this woman poured into these books,
Yes.
you know?
And the characters and the
So
world.
much. Like, she really took every twist and turn that was possible and stabbed knives into us the whole time, you know?
I honestly, I think I need to reread them
I know,
all.
I'm
Like,
thinking that too.
It's getting about that time, but I'm also like, should I wait until my kids are old enough and I read the
read them
first
with
one
them?
to them? My husband and I actually recently reread the first one.
Mm-hmm.
We listened to it in the car, and then we've done one for book club.
Yeah, that was fun.
And things like that. But I'm like, I think I should beginning to end,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
I want to get the pretty ones that are all
Yes.
illustrated and read those to my kids.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
do
actually
that.
really, really happy because when my grandma passed away, she saved all of her Harry Potter books, for me specifically.
Aw.
So I have all of her copies, and they're
so sweet.
the first ones ever, and they're all hard copy, and I love it. So I think
That's
it's so
cool.
fun. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Steve Jobs. This is one we talk about a lot because he's pretty cool, and we all have iPhones primarily.
Are you in a different order than I am?
Maybe.
Because mine's like this.
Oh yeah, mine.
Why are they in a different order?
I don't know.
Excuse you. That's fine.
We'll just have to remember.
Yeah, okay. Go for it.
Steve Jobs, he launched Apple's iPod at age 46. And before that, Apple was failing. He was 46 years old, and he co-founded Apple really young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I said this so weird. He co-founded Apple.
Co-founded.
Apple really young. But he was ousted from the company. He returned and he launched the iPod at 46 years old, revolutionized the music industry, and paved the way for the iPhone. And he absolutely did revolutionize the music industry.
Yeah. Because then it made way for streaming
Yeah.
and, downloading things onto your device.
Yes, and buying your music and being able to listen to it anywhere, and the headphones. I mean, and now, like I said, the iPhone and everything, that's a major staple.
Right.
But I think it's really cool to think about Steve Jobs, this person who I admire a ton for all of his entrepreneurial efforts, was 46 years old before he launched the iPod.
That's so crazy.
And that's pre-iPhone days. 46 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I got some time.
At least 15 years.
I was just going to say, that's actually not that far away.
But 15 years, that's half of our life. And up to 15 years, we were just babies.
That's true.
So.
That's true. Springboarding from now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next on the list, we have Colonel Sanders. Is that actually a thing? Does he actually go by Colonel Sanders? Yeah. Wow. Founded KFC at 65. Harlan Sanders tried multiple careers before he perfected his fried chicken recipe. He was rejected over 1,000 times. Ouch. Before finally franchising Kentucky Fried Chicken at the age of 65. That would suck.
Yeah.
1,000 times being rejected. You got to be really good
And
at
really
getting
committed
rejected.
to your chicken.
Yeah. He knew he had something.
Yeah.
He knew his worth. Yes, Harlan.
That'll just be the trailer for this episode. Really committed to your chicken.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay.
Walt Disney, we know and love him. He created Disneyland at 53 years old. Disney had multiple failed businesses before finding success with Mickey Mouse in his late 20s. But Disneyland, one of his biggest achievements, didn't open until he was 53.
And I think they were failing in general. I think Disney was going under.
Oh, yeah.
And so he decided to do Disneyland.
Yeah.
And that's what saved them. There's been many times when Disney has almost gone under.
Yep.
And he was like, nah, I got an idea.
Yeah. Not only did he not launch it till he was 53, like he worked on it from his 20s into his, you know, all the way
like
to the
almost
end.
30.
Like that's
almost
a
30
long
years.
time to be devoted and committed to something you don't know. It may or may not even work out.
Yeah. Were theme parks a thing in the day? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
that impresses me.
That
a
is
lot.
really cool. Stan Lee created Spider-Man at 39 years old. He worked in comics for years, but felt unfulfilled at 39. He took a risk and created the Fantastic Four, followed by Spider-Man, X-Men, the Avengers, and his late career pivot made him a pop culture legend. Absolutely. Everyone knows the name Stan Lee. He's a household name, especially if you're into comics.
And Spider-Man, I mean, he's the best superhero.
Probably, yeah.
So, in my opinion, I love Spider-Man so much.
I know in our house, Spider-Man is the favorite of all of them. I think I'm like a Superman stan because of Christopher Reeve. I just grew up with him. But my husband thinks he is Spider-Man. And my child thinks that my husband is Spider-Man.
I'm definitely a Spider-Man girl.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because I hate spiders more than anything in the world. But my entire life, Spider-Man girl, 100%. Yeah, now I'm scared that another spider is going to descend from the ceiling because we're talking about it too
your
much.
Mary Jane moment.
Yeah.
With your Spider-Man. Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
It's really hard. I love so many different aspects. I mean, okay, I can't remember his name right now.
Andrew Garfield.
Yes, thank you. If you were watching that, she literally just yoinked that out of my eyeballs. That was hilarious. It wasn't even my brain. It was like, I got you, Andrew.
I don't know. I just figured he would be your type.
Oh, I was absolutely blown away by him. I was like,
He was hot.
Yes.
He was hot.
Thank you. People don't think that. What? Which we will pull this.
I'm so sorry, but Andrew Garfield is the hottest Spider-Man.
He is. Thank
Easily.
you.
There is no competition.
Thank you so much. Okay.
There's no competition. I'm so sorry.
But people are
You're
like,
wrong.
he's not even cute. I'm like, I mean, let's just talk about him as a human being.
Right.
He's amazing. And I love him.
He's so sweet.
And the way he talks, I just love him. Okay, anyway. But I was like, I will marry him for
Yeah.
sure. Like, go to the movies. I'm like,
You were blonde
Yes.
too growing up? Oh my gosh.
I was like,
Gwen Stacy.
Can we go see that again? Like, tomorrow and the next day? And the
She
next
had her
day?
sexual awakening with
Andrew Garfield.
Oh, girl. Ooh, yeah. I mean, he's the hottest one.
Yes.
Easily.
He's so
I love Tom Holland,
good.
but he's a baby.
And
He's a baby.
He's like the perfect like little kid
Yeah.
Spider-Man, you know?
I love
But
him. He just
Andrew
fits in your pocket,
Garfield.
you know? Andrew Garfield is an actual spider of a
Yes.
human
And,
in the best way.
Yeah, we
in
love
the only
him.
way.
Yeah. So that was hilarious. Vincent Van Gogh.
Love him.
He became famous after his death.
That's so sad though.
He literally didn't know. Van Gogh only started painting in his late 20s. So that's when he started. Okay. So like that's like where we are.
Yeah.
In our late 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like almost 30.
Shots fired.
By the time this comes out, no, you'll still be in your late 20s for like a few more days. Sorry.
I love it. Yes.
We're feeling a little
spicy today.
I guess so. But he starts painting then, right? In his 20s, and it's just a hobby. And he sells one painting in his lifetime. And he did die pretty young. He died at 37, but he became famous after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he started to pick up a hobby and a passion in his late 20s that he never even knew made him huge.
Yeah.
He just was like, okay, this was fun. Kind of crazy.
And everyone knows his name.
Yeah.
Everyone knows his paintings. You can at least think of like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Not just one.
Yes.
Like, can you think of 3 or 4 Da Vinci paintings?
Nope.
Can you think of 3 or 4 Van Goghs?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yep. I love his stuff.
I'm about to show my nerd real big right now. As if I already didn't. Jeez.
That's why we have a podcast.
I know. There's an episode of Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. Real nerd. If you watch Doctor Who, you are the biggest of the nerds.
I haven't.
Okay. Anywho, there's an episode of Doctor Who where it's like a time travel alien thing. Okay. Anywho, they meet Van Gogh and they bring him to the future. And he walks around. It's like emotional. Think about it. But he like walks around and he sees like this whole room devoted to his paintings.
Oh my God.
And he's like crying because he sees that people are like just love him.
Appreciated it. Yeah.
They admire him. And he was a little, like, he's a little, little off.
Uh-huh.
And he's not able to, like, fully, express it. Because I imagine that being how he kind of was. Anywho, it was a beautiful episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's so beautiful.
We're like, oh, someone, he needed that. Anywho.
He's in heaven. He sees it.
Yeah. Speaking of paintings, I said Da Vinci earlier. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa at 51. Even though Da Vinci was always an artist, many of his greatest works, including the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, were created later in life. I mean, it took a while to hone his craft.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And if you see the Mona Lisa in real life, you're like, oh.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you saw a fake one of it, but you saw it.
Yes.
They like never put the real one out, even though it's like behind glass and stuff.
Yes. Like thick. It's in a room of glass, and then there's like a line, and like it's
Did you have to like elbow your way to the front?
Yeah. And then I looked at it and I was like, what? Like, why is this? I
am curious why it is so prolific.
Mona Lisa. I don't know.
It's old.
Yes, and
it's
that's
really, really
cool.
old. It's preserved very beautifully.
But it's really tiny and like.
It's just a portrait of a woman.
I'm happy for him though. But
Good for her. Good for him.
Jeff Bezos. Say what you will about Jeff, but he's a successful human being, and he launched Amazon at 31. So we actually have got to get cracking.
Okay.
Because we are not that far
I'm about
off.
to be 30. I have less than a month. Less than 30 days.
But I think it's cool.
Year.
He had a stable finance career, and he took a huge risk. And it obviously paid off. But what if it hadn't? At 31, he was like, I'm going to launch Amazon from my garage.
That's scary.
Yeah. And it took years before it became the tech giant that it is today.
I'm like, that takes a level of self-confidence that only a mediocre middle-aged white man has. Just kidding. You can do it too. Why are we so spicy today?
I don't know. I'm so sorry. But
I'm not.
We're barely, no, we're great. Everything's great. All right. Did you read that one or did I?
You did.
Okay.
Woo. Okay. We're just keeping it real. We're 100 today. Okay. Laura Ingalls Wilder published Little House on the Prairie at 65 years old. Though she always had a passion for storytelling, Laura Ingalls Wilder didn't publish her first Little House book until she was 65. Her stories of pioneer life became one of the most beloved children's book series. And obviously it became a very successful TV series.
65.
Well. Yeah. She retired at that point.
Yeah. Maybe that's why she was able to do it.
She had the time. She didn't have kids. She's like, oh, now I get to be my own human.
I can do my own thing.
Yeah. Can you tell we're in the thick of it with our babies?
We love them. They're so cute, but we are in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Julia Child found her calling at 36, but she didn't publish her first cookbook until 50. She didn't even learn how to cook until her mid-30s. Okay? But then she literally became like legend for cooking and cookbook and everything. Before that, she worked in intelligence during World War II. She attended culinary school at 37 and published Mastering the Art of French Cooking at 50, revolutionizing home cooking in America.
Wow. And then she had her show and taught people how to cook on a show. She was
50.
Like probably one of the first people that had like a cooking show.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
Was her first cookbook after learning how to cook in her 30s. Like, that's okay. Like, we got it. It's okay. We got it.
Like 13 years after she learned how to cook to the time that she put out a cookbook.
Yep. Whoa. In the middle of her life, or like the endish years of her life. Kind of cool.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. All right. Vera Wang became a designer at 40. Really? I don't know that. Vera Wang was a competitive figure skater. Excuse me? This is news to me. And a journalist. Wow, these are all over the place.
Yeah.
Before becoming a fashion designer at 40, she had no formal fashion design training, but built one of the most iconic bridal brands in the world. I'm like, how did she know how to engineer anything? Because that's nuts. Like, sewing is crazy.
She just learned.
Doing wedding dresses, crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's insane. Could you imagine to be like,
with
I'm
no
going to
formal
do this.
training.
I'm just going to make this happen.
I want to do wedding dresses.
I stand corrected. She might have more audacity than Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. Seriously.
Jeez. That
crazy.
is amazing. I was thinking of actors because I love actors.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman and Samuel L. Jackson,
Yes,
both of them.
I actually almost included him, but I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. They both like had incredible careers later on in life.
Yeah.
They started later.
So it just like brings me hope that I'm not too late to figure out stuff that I'm interested in or to pursue a career or whatever else it is that I want to do with my life.
Yeah. So we're here to remind you, because if you're listening to this, you're probably not too old to start something.
Yeah. Even if you're 100.
Right. I think about my great grandpa that I lived with until he passed away, and he was constantly reading, constantly learning. He was always trying to figure out how to use his computer better.
Cute.
You know, he wanted to send an email. He wanted to, you know, figure out how to Bluetooth connect his mouse, things like that. He was like, please show me. Always.
I love that.
Gosh.
I aspire to be like him.
I know. If we know anything about me, it's that I really admire my great grandpa, and I talk about him a lot. And that he was just the coolest human ever that I have had personal connection to.
Yeah.
Oh, anywho. There is not ever going to be an age where you are too old to learn or too old to do something different. Obviously, there are things that we kind of tell ourselves to kind of hold us back, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't have time, or I have too much responsibility in this area, so I can't make that a priority at all. You know, it may cost too much money at the moment.
Right.
I would challenge that there has to be a way to make it happen. There's got to be ways to make it happen. Whether that is, you know, working with your village. And if you don't have a village, I invite you to find a village. You know, find your people that are willing to trade off with you. Try and barter with people as much as you can. And try and make it happen for yourself. Like if you have an idea, it is worth it. It is worth trying. And I'm even going to say it, I'm going to go so far as to say it's worth trying and failing at it. We're going to get into failure in a different episode, but it's so worth it. There's definitely times, I would say, as I'm nearing my 30th year, you know, as I'm hitting 30 in less than a month, this is something that I am thinking of, you know, like, does my life look the way that I want it to? And what I have learned is that it is more important to focus on how you feel and how you want to feel versus what you're actually doing in your life, if that makes sense, you know? So instead of thinking, okay, I've checked all of the boxes that I said I was going to do by the time I'm age 30, not so much that, but more focusing on, do I feel the way that I expected myself to feel as a 30-year-old? Do I feel more confident? Do I feel more at peace in myself? Do I feel like I have maybe more compassion or empathy toward people? Things like that. It is more important to focus on how you feel. And if you are feeling unfulfilled for some reason because you aren't prioritizing the things that bring you joy, it's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
It's always a good time to spark joy in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's such a valuable lesson and thing to be thinking about, because it's so easy to look at the list and say, well, I really wanted this to happen by this age and it didn't. So I'm just like done for.
Yeah.
But focusing more on how you're feeling, I think like there are certain things we can make happen in our control, but there are so many that we can't.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you're focusing on the feeling aspect, I think that will help so much.
Yeah.
With the things we can't control.
And I think that's where we kind of do things wrong in society, maybe, is we try to focus too much on the check boxes sometimes, especially when we do have social media kind of guiding our thoughts.
Yeah.
Because, you know, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
We see, I see it constantly because I struggle with it, is that people have houses and I want a house.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I talk about it a lot. I want a house. And I talk about it a lot because it's something that I have a goal of and I'm working really hard to get that.
And
right?
something extremely valuable and important to you.
Exactly. It is important to me, and it's something that like I feel like I want is a house, you know, but also I haven't hit that milestone yet, and a lot of other people haven't been able to hit that milestone, and that's okay. And it still gives me motivation to go toward that thing, and also to be grateful for where I'm at, the things that I've learned, for the feelings that I have within myself. I'm pretty dang proud of where I'm at in my life.
Yeah.
And it's a balance, I think, of being able to see, okay, where am I feeling where I'm not, you know, feeling fully fulfilled? I'm going to go after that thing. And also I'm going to acknowledge the places that I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Couldn't have said it better. I think it's even important sometimes to just embrace the fact that maybe you're a late bloomer instead of being scared of that and like trying to run away from that mindset. Just reframing that mindset to life is not a race. I don't need to get to the end destination today or tomorrow or even the next day, and success definitely is not linear. And I think remembering that can be so beneficial for us, because then it reminds us to focus on the feelings, to focus on the journey, which I know that's
so cliche,
but it's so legit. Like,
yes,
if we're always trying to focus on finishing to getting to the finish line and to marking off that checkbox, then you literally will miss out
right
on the entire experience and the entire point of the experience.
Cue The Climb by Miley Cyrus.
Yes. And the mountain behind us, if you're watching on YouTube.
Our new background. We didn't even acknowledge that.
Yeah. It's cute, huh?
Yes.
And there are so many practical ways to start. I think just like taking small, manageable actions towards your passion. We have talked about this a ton this season. So if you're looking for more tips and tricks, go back and listen to the entire season 2 of the Living Big podcast.
Yes.
Because our guests have each and every one of them has said the same thing. Like, okay, let's break it down.
Yeah.
Small, manageable, like you can find your passion and let's make it bite-sized. Letting go of comparison, like Marley said, like that is a huge, huge way to embrace being a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Not always feeling like you need to be just like the Joneses next door or the literal random person you don't know on social media who you're following. Focus on your journey, where you are and not where other people are, because that is never going to bring you fulfillment.
Yeah.
If it's inspiring you, that's one thing. But if it's literally taking away your joy, then that's not benefiting you. That's not really healthy.
I invite you to unfollow them if that's the case.
If it's not helpful, you have the power to just turn that off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, like Marley already said, with finding your village or community, whatever you want to call it, surround yourself with people who are embracing new things, and that's going to help you to also be able to embrace and find new things if you feel like you're late in life. And find other people who want to do some of the similar things that you're looking at, or maybe who inspire you to do something you've never ever even considered.
Ooh.
I think for us that's been a huge thing. Like even this podcast itself was us finding each other, talking lots, building new things together, and creating an entire new perspective that we didn't even see possible. I was texting you the other day. I was like, we met 10 years ago.
Right.
And if you had told me that we would be besties sitting on a couch doing a podcast together, I just like frankly wouldn't have even like imagined that.
Right.
It's not that I wouldn't have believed it, but I would have, that isn't something I ever necessarily predicted.
Yeah.
Right. And even when we served together in Ukraine, like I didn't know what was going to happen after. And we had long periods of time where we weren't even friends.
Yeah.
So to be here now is very much a product of becoming close friends and embracing new things together.
Yeah.
And just like going for it and building off that.
Yeah.
And it's led to so many amazing aspects, at least for me personally, of my life.
Also for me. Yes.
You know? So I think it's pretty cool.
So you never know where life is going to take you and who might be part of that journey.
Yep.
So it's always going to be an uphill battle. Yeah. Sometimes we're going to have to lose. Sorry. I had to.
It's the climb.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's never too late to start something new.
No.
So embrace where you're at and know that you can be anything you want to be.
Yeah. And you're doing a lot better than you think you are.
We love you. Have a good week.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on Living Big. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. If you liked this episode, please leave a rating and review.
Join the crew on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for all the behind the scenes, fun, and more. We are incredibly grateful for the community we're building and can't wait to see the growth going forward.
Don't forget to check out Living Big Labs for all of your social media management needs.
Living Big Labs is here to help small businesses thrive by taking the stress of social media off their shoulders so they can focus on what they love and do best.
And remember, you have our permission to let go and live without missing opportunities to connect with other humans. Pursue your passions, no matter how ever changing. Have fun and live big.